I wish I had good news, but as expected, the launch update on Tuesday for Pokemon TCG Live didn't add any new features or bring any meaningful bug fixes. Thankfully though, the developers did update the energy pips. Obviously that's where their resources needed to be going. Because we got these crazy new pips, game-breaking issues like Gardevoir EX not being able to attach to a Pokemon recovered from the discard pile have remained. It's a small price to pay for nice pips. To make matters worse, as predicted, the newly reprinted Super Rod is also broken with Gardevoir. Basically, if you shuffle a Pokemon back into your deck with Super Rod, then put that Pokemon onto the field in the same turn, there's a decent chance you can't charge it up with Psychic Embrace. Luckily, Gardevoir isn't a tier 1 deck or anything, otherwise this would be a massive issue. And it's not just newer cards that were negatively impacted by Paldea Evolved. Somehow Temple of Sinnoh is broken now. At least for me, putting Temple of Sinnoh into play causes the game to freeze, then you can't do anything until it auto-passes your turn. And Temple of Sinnoh also doesn't actually shut off special energy, you know, the one thing it's supposed to do. And I was able to put a Temple of Sinnoh onto my Temple of Sinnoh the following turn. Yeah, that's good old TCG Live for ya. It's safe to say that the developers are now 0 for 8 when it comes to new set launches, with Paldea Evolved being the latest unsuccessful release. To put it into sports terms, if Live was a football team, the head coach would be getting fired right now. But instead of addressing our concerns or fixing a card like Gardevoir EX that's never worked properly since releasing back in March, do you know what they are doing? Spending all their money on a pretty great trailer for Live. Thursday, June 8th marked the official launch of Pokemon TCG Live. I already talked about how there's literally no difference between beta and launch, so we'll skip past that. This trailer had time, effort, and money put into it, making it the antithesis of TCG Live. I don't know if antithesis is the right word here, but it's what I'm going with. The internet is littered with people wondering why they shut down PTCGL, a functioning game, to release Live, a game that sits at a 2.1 out of 5 on Android. But look at this trailer. It has two people playing the physical game as kids, then getting older and drifting apart until neither of them have friends like all adults, but TCG Live reunites them. Then they have this crazy battle filled with cool effects, all without having to interact with each other in real life, or in-game because they removed in-game chat. Of course, nothing shown in this trailer was impossible on PTCGO. You could do friend battles on there, play on a laptop, and play on mobile devices not named iPhone. Because there's no microtransactions in Live, the Pokemon Company decided to make some TCG Live hoodies and hats that come with codes for the game. So if you love Live so much, you can wear a hoodie while playing it. But if the hoodie's anything like the game on mobile, it'll cause you to overheat way too quickly. Speaking of the mobile versions, the Pokemon Company has updated the specs for TCG Live. Now, they recommend playing on an iPhone 11 or higher or on a Galaxy S10 or higher. Except the full launch of the game didn't do anything to address the massive performance issues on mobile. So even if you're using the latest and greatest phone, odds are it'll overheat your device and cause the battery to drain like crazy. And there's another funny thing I found on the official website. As I pointed out in my previous video, Live basically has two game modes, Standard and a neutered Expanded. You can play Standard in Ranked or Casual, but you're likely to face a Tier 1 deck in Casual, basically making it Ranked without the rankings. And Expanded only allows Sun and Moon on cards, with no plans to add Black and White or X and Y until the 2024 season at the earliest. In the game mode section of the site though, they say, players clash against each other in turn-based battles using Standard format regulations. Support for the Expanded format is in development. Whether you want to battle a friend in a casual match or participate in daily in-game challenges, Pokemon TCG Live offers many ways to compete. So they mention one game mode in the game mode section, but say there's many ways to compete. And the part about Expanded makes it seem like they don't have any Expanded format in the game when there is, albeit half of one. Want to hear some more fun stuff about Live? The latest update removed the ability to craft V-Onion cards. Was this intentional or is it a bug? Who knows, because the developers never communicate with us. Or we have hilarious issues like Muji's Greninja V-Union disappearing when they attacked with Chen Pao. I've also queued up against two different people at the same time, and I've had multiple instances of the top row in the main menu disappearing, forcing me to restart because I can't do anything. These are in addition to all the other issues we've been experiencing since last year, like not being able to select cards from your deck and your opponent's clock counting down to 0 due to a disconnect. If you're hoping for swift fixes to TCG Live, well, based on past experience, the next update likely won't be until July. And the next piece of honest communication with the community about how bad the game is and how they'll work tirelessly to give us a game that actually works will never actually happen. How do I know this? Because unlike the rest of you who may have started playing live over the last month or two, I've been stuck in this hellhole for nearly 16 months. And the things you're complaining about today are the exact same things I complained about in February of last year.